Hey everybody, it's Alex Hughes with the North Pacific Homes Group and eXp Realty, here with a video on buying in a strata building. Now before we get into it, it'd be great if you could like this video or follow us on our YouTube channel, as it really helps out. Now buying into a strata building is very different than buying a freehold property or a single family detached. As with a freehold, if there is something that's wrong with the property, you are solely responsible for it. Now, buying into a condo or a townhome or a strata, not only are you responsible for your unit, but you're also collectively responsible with all the other residents for any of the common property. Now, common property could be the walkways of a building, hallways, the exterior, the roof, you name it. Anything that's associated with the building that isn't within your unit is constituted as the common property. Now, the majority of the larger buildings in town are going to be professionally managed. Some are not. We just got to make sure that they're following the right procedures. But when you do have a professionally managed building, they are going to adhere to certain rules. Now, on top of having it professionally managed, you're also going to have strata council members and a president that's voted on between the residents to make sure that they're meeting and taking care of any issues of the building, whether that's physical or any complaints along the residences. Now, also to ensure that the building is being maintained and you are aware of what's going on in the building, the strata will bring in a third-party engineering firm to do what's known as a depreciation report. Now, this report is done every 7 years or so, and the goal of it is to figure out what remaining lifespan is left on the assets. Now, you can think of the assets of a building, of any of the physical properties of it, whether that's the roof, the exterior, the parking garage, similar to the common property, anything that can be replaced. Now, what the goal of this report is to figure out how much of a lifespan is left on these assets and figure out what the replacement is going to be at the end of their lifespan. Now, once this report is completed, it'll have a timeline of what each year has of these estimated costs and also these funding models. Now, when you buy into one of these units, you'll have monthly strata fees. These strata fees go towards the building's contingency reserve fund and operating fund. And the simplest way of thinking about what those are is the building's savings and checkings account. Now, based on what the depreciation report recommends for your funding models, the strata council, along with all other residents, will vote on which one makes the most sense to them. Now, it's very important to determine which funding model that they have chosen, because if they use a light funding model, meaning you have a low monthly strata fee, that could mean that down the line, when these assets are due, you might not have enough money in the savings or the check-ins account to pay for them. So what will happen is that the council will have to invoke what's called a special levy to help pay for the remaining costs. And then as these assets are quite expensive, where it could be a couple of $1 million for the complete refacing of the building, a resident could be hit with a pretty large special levy. So when we're reviewing these documents, we just want to make sure we know what we're walking into. Now, when we're putting an offer into this property, it's a little bit different than buying a freehold. Now, outside of your regular conditions such as your financing, we also want to put in a condition to make sure we're reviewing strata documents. Now, this is taking everything under consideration, whether it's the depreciation report, the monthly strata meeting minutes, or any other reports that the strata has done. Another important document for us to review is the Form B. Now, this Form B is written specifically for each unit for when you have written an offer. And what it is pretty much a snapshot of what the unit and the building looks like. So what it'll include is your exact strata monthly fees, any parking stalls or storage lockers that are allocated to the unit itself, what the amount in the contingency reserve fund is to that day, and also if there's any special levies that have already been approved on or anything that's coming down the line. So it's a great document to review. Now, at the end of the day, buildings do deteriorate over time and they will need work done, but it is of the utmost importance that we understand what we're walking into so you can properly plan for it. As a realtor, what I would advise for you to do is have your lawyer review these documents or a professional strata document review. That's everything I got for you folks on stratas today. If you are interested and you got any questions about the market or further down the line of buying a strata, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you very much.